Hi guys, welcome to the channel once again, and in today's tutorial we are going to look at the basics of Photoshop. Okay, so before we start, let us look at this some few settings about Photoshop. Okay, so if you have just installed your app, please tick the auto select over here and then tick the show transform control over here as well to look like how mine is looking over here. All right, so from there we can bring your mouse pointer to this place. There are some few settings over here as well. So when you click over here, you'll see we have essentials, new in CSS or any other thing, 3D, motion, painting, photography, typography, and the rest over here. So you can customize your interface to any of these. Okay, so let me put my own photography so that we'll see something. Okay, so what it means is that anytime that I'm working within the app, everything that I'm working on over here will be displayed over here for me to be seen as well. All right, and anytime you select or you work on a particular file, it will appear at the layer side over here for you to see as well. All right, so let's start with the first thing first. So what we are going to look out for in today's tutorial, and the first objective is how to create a workspace. Okay, so let's go. So to create a workspace, you can use the shortcut Control plus N. Okay, so this is the shortcut for us, but the manual approach is we go to file, select new, and then this is the dialog box that will open for you. So what you do is that you see we have name over here, so it is asking you about the name of your project. Okay, name of your project. So let's assume I'm working on a project called basis of Photoshop. So I'm working on this project called basis of Photoshop. Okay, so the fundamentals. All right, then from presets you change, you have the preset. When you open it, we have a lot of things over here. Okay, so you can set your work to any of these, but mostly we choose international paper and then custom size. Okay, custom preset. All right, and international paper, and any of these works for you perfectly. Then let me choose international paper. So when you choose international paper, this is what will appear for you. So the size, we have the size of the work you are going to do. Okay, and when you open it, send your mouse pointer to this, the end here. When you open it, you see you have A4 size, A6, A5, A3, B5, and the rest. Okay, up to DL. So these are the size of the papers that we have. Okay, but so in case you are working on any of these, and then let's assume none of your paper size has been taken for you, then you can change your paper size to suit your preference. Okay, so let's assume you have 30. Now you consider the top over here saying to custom. Okay, it is telling you that you have moved from international paper to a custom size. Okay, your preference to suit what you are doing. Okay, all right, so that is it for us. So and then we can change the unit as well. This is millimeters, so we can change them from millimeters to any unit over here. So we have pixels, inches, centimeters, millimeters, points, picas, columns. Okay, so these are the units that we have in Photoshop. And when you look at this critically, you see that in Photoshop we don't have feet. Okay, but sometimes you want to work in feet. Okay, so what happens is that you have to convert that unit to suit any of these units over here. That is what happens. Okay, all right, so that is it for us over here. Now when you are inputting your size, we have what width, that is how long you want the work to be, and then the height, that is what how tall you want your work to be. Okay, and we have the resolution. The resolution over here is talking about, that is how sharp you want your image to look like or your work to look like when you are printing it out, how sharp you want it to be. So you can reduce we can reduce the resolution. You can reduce it to any size that you want. Okay, so the custom size for the resolution is 300. And then we have the color mode as well. So we can have bitmap, grayscale, RGB color, CMYK color, and lab color. So you can change it to any of these color. So let me leave it to RGB. So should in case you are working and then you know you are not going to print it out, you leave your color, go to RGB, and if you are going to print it out, you leave it to CMYK color. Okay, so these are the things. And then let's look at the background content. The background over here, always leave it to white, because as you are working, you will be willing to, or you will get to a point where you have to change the background color. Okay, where you have to change the background color. So when we get to that point, so you will get to know what we are talking about. All right, so that is it. Then we have a portion here where my mouse is rotating at. We have image size. Okay, and when you look at the image size, it is very small. This is 489.5 K. Okay, and that is kilograms. It is very small bar. All right, so we can change, because this is millimeters, that is why the image size is very small like this. All right, so let's assume we increase the size to 100. Let's see what happens to the image size. The image size moves to what? 1.59 megabytes. Is that what it is? All right, so that is what happens. So the more the image size increases, the more you increase your width and then your height and your resolution, the higher the image size. You have to bear that in mind. So be looking at this. So if it is, let's assume I increase the height to 100. Let's see what happens. The image size has moved to what? 5.32 megabytes. Is that not it? So the more you increase the sizes, the more the image size increases. Now let's decrease the resolution and see what will happen. So you can see that the image size also reduced from megabyte to kilobyte. So that is how it works. So if you increase the image size, at times the machine cannot hold the work properly. So it will make your machine to become slow, and when you are working on it, you won't enjoy it. So always make sure your image size is a bit small, so that when you are working on it, the machine will run fast for you. All right, so that is how it goes. Now after you finish setting all of this, the only thing you do is to hit on OK over here, and you will get your workspace created for you neatly like this. So guys, that is how we create our workspace, okay, in Photoshop. I am sure you are following the lesson carefully. All right, and I'm sure too. Now let me close this. Now the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to look at how we will bring in image onto our workspace. Okay, and then we have to create our workspace using the shortcut key Ctrl+N. All right, so from there, let me hit on OK. So if you want to bring in an image to be placed on this background for you, all that you do is that you go to File, then you go to Place, and then the image that you want to place on this, you select on it, and then come to the bottom part over here and pick Place. All right, so that is it over there for me. So you can see that my image is placed for me literally over there. All right, so this image over here, as it is like this is my move tool. So when you select this tool, you can use it to drag this. You can use it to drag this to anywhere. You can position it anywhere you want. Have you seen? So you can position it to anywhere of the workspace that you want it. Maybe I want it to be here. I want it to be positioned at this place. I want it to be here. I can position it with the help of the move tool. Okay, all right. So that is how we place image onto our workspace. Okay, now the next thing we are going to, now let me close this and click on no, I don't want to save it. The next thing we are going to look out for is how to change our background color. Okay, and in changing background color, we have different ways of changing our background color. Okay, you can decide to add a solid color to your background, or you can decide to add a gradient color to your background. Any of these works perfectly for you. Alright, so let's get into what we are talking about. So let's create our workspace, Ctrl+N, or you go to file and select new, and you get to the same process like us. Now let me hit on OK. Now what we do is that come to the background here, double click on it and drag it to this layer over here and leave it to make a copy of that. Now come to FX, go to color overlay, and when you come here, you'll see that the color overlay has been ticked for you, and then at this place we have a red color loaded here for you. So this is the background, this is a solid color that we have here, but maybe I don't want this color. So what I'll do is that I'll come to this box, the color box here, double click on it and open a box like this. Then maybe I want a color like this. Okay, so I'll choose that color and then hit on OK. Okay, maybe that is the color I want, but if I don't want that color, all that I'll do is I'll open it again, and then I'll move this to the any of the color like this, and then I'll pick color from the box, any of the color from the box like this, using my mouse pointer. Then I'll hit on OK, and then I'll hit on OK again. So guys, that is how we change our background color with solid color. Okay, now let me delete this. Right click on that and choose delete layer and select yes, you want to delete that. Now let's look at how we add gradient color to our background. Come to the background here, drag this to this place and make a copy. Come to FX and choose gradient overlay, and this is what will open for you. So you see that gradient overlay has been ticked over here. If you don't want the gradient overlay, you can untick it and the color will go. But in this case, we want to use the gradient overlay to change our background color. So what we do is that come to the box over here, click this, and then click on the stop, the color stop over here. This is the color stop. Double click on it and it will open a panel like this for you. Then when you pick the color, you see that it has reflected at the bottom over here for you. Okay, all right, and then however you like that color, you can choose the color that you want. You can pick the color that you want. Okay, you can just be controlling it, you can move it, and then use your mouse to pick any of the color that you feel like using. Okay, all right, so after you choose it, you click on OK. Okay, and it will go. Now we have the second bar over here, so you click on it again, and then let's choose a different color. So this color will fill the top part over here for us, so it will fill it for us perfectly like that. Then you click on OK, then here to click on OK. Now when you come to the gradient overlay, this is the menu over here for us. We can make some few settings over here. Over here we can choose to reduce the, let's start with the first one, blending mode. Okay, so this is your normal. So we can, when you bring your mouse pointer to this, you see that there is an arrow pointing to the down. When you click on this, you have dissolve and the rest over here. So when you click on dissolve, it will be, there are a lot of things that will be happening to your color. The color will have a lot of things, so that is what will be happening. You'll be seeing some effects happening around your color. So that is it. So you can choose any of these options, but okay, now we can reduce the opacity for the color. So you just put your mouse on it, double click on it and drag it. So Whilst you are dragging to the back, it will be fading. Whilst you are dragging on, you see that the color, the numbers will be increasing over there. Alright, now let me put it on 100%. Okay, then when you come to the gradients over here, you see that we have a portion here called reverse. So it means when you click on this reverse, what will happen is that the colors will interchange. Okay, this will come here, and then this will also come here. That is what happens. So let's click on the reverse and see what will happen. Alright, so have you seen what happens? That is what happens. Now when you reverse it again, this is what happens. When you reverse it, this is what will happen. Okay, now we have another thing called style. The style, now the style is on linear. Okay, let's change the linear to radial and see what will happen. So guys, that is it. You can bring your mouse pointer out and position this. You can position this to wherever you want it to be positioned for you. Okay, so guys, that is what is happening. Now I want to change it from radial to angle. Let's see what will happen. Okay, you can position this layer to any place that you want. Just double click on it and then drag it and put it at anywhere. Okay, now that is angle for us. Let's go see the next one. Let's choose reflected. So this is reflected. Okay, and then let's see diamond. So this is diamond for us. Alright, so we have angle over here. We can change the angle. You can be rotating the angle to any size that you want. You can be rotating the angles to any size that you want. Okay, and then the scale too, you can increase the scale or you can decrease the scale. You can increase, you can decrease. Okay, so these are the few settings that you do to your background. Okay, when you change it. Now let me bring this back to linear. So this is the linear for us over there. Then after you set this, the next thing you do is you click on OK, and then your background color has been set for you nicely like this. So it means you can proceed with your work. Alright, so guys, that is how we change image background color. That's how we change our background color in Photoshop. Alright, then let me delete this layer. Alright, so guys, that is how we change image background in Photoshop. Now the next thing we are going to look out for is how we can move image from one place to another. So we are going to look at some few settings. Now we want to, there are some times when you set your Photoshop, these things will not appear, the ruler will not come. Okay, the ruler will not appear. So what you do is that you go to view, and then when you look over here, we have ruler over here. Okay, the rulers, we have the rulers here. So let's untick this and see what will happen. You will see that my ruler is off. So if I want it back, I'll just go back and click on ruler, or I can simply use the shortcut Ctrl+R. Okay, Ctrl+R to bring it back again. That is how we set our ruler in Photoshop. Alright, so let's look at some few things on Photoshop again. So we are going to look at the tools and how we use them. Okay, this tool is what we call move tool. Now let me drag in something onto the page and let's see what will happen. Let me bring in this food. Okay, so this is the food we have here. So this tool called move tool, it helps you to drag and then move any item on the workspace to a different place. So it helped me to do, you can just double click on it, double click on it, and then to send it to anywhere. Okay, now what we see around it, the selection we see around it is the transform. Okay, this is where it is. So if you want this selection to go or to disappear, all that you do is to come here and tick here and it will go. Okay, but if you want it back, you tick here and it will come back. Okay, so that you will see that this is what you have selected. All right, now I have already told you that we'll be looking at how this works, how they work. Okay, now let's look at how the auto select work. Now the auto select, let's look at it. Let me bring in this another one again. Let me place this again. So okay, so let's see what will happen. So this is what is happening. So the next thing, you see this is auto select and it has been ticked. So when I select on this, you see that the selection has been made around this. Okay, and when I select this one too, the selection has been made around this. Now let's take off the auto select and see what will happen. Now when I click on this, I want to select this, but when I click it, it is selecting this one rather. When I select, I want to select this one, but when I select, it's selecting this one. Okay, unless I come here to make the selection around this. So the auto select gives a command that when I want to click on this and move it, it will select this one for me. Okay, to select where my mouse is, where the mouse is. I want to select this, but because the auto select is off, I can't select this and move it to anywhere. Okay, so the importance of the auto select is that it enables you to make a quick selection of what you are doing, okay, or an image on the workspace. Now let me bring the auto select back. Now you can see that I can select this for me. When I come here to it to select it for me, it will select it for me. So that is how the auto select works. Okay, now let me take that picture off. Let me bring this here. Now my picture is at this point. I want it to move to this place for me. So let's see what will happen. Then what I'll do is that I'll go to edit, and then I'll come to transform, and then I'll come to flip. I'll come to what? Flip vertical. Let's see what will happen. It has flipped it for me. Now let me go back and let's see what will happen again. I want this to rotate. I want it to rotate 90 degrees clockwise. So that is how it is going. Let's see. I want it to rotate anti-clockwise. So it is something is happening to that. Alright, so let's see. Have you seen it? Alright, so a lot of things happens when you keep on using the app. Okay, so keep on practicing using the app, and then you will develop the necessary skills. Okay, you develop the necessary skills. So that is it. Alright, so that is it, guys. That is how we bring in image onto our web page, and then we rotate it. Okay, now the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to look out for some few of the tools. Okay, we'll be soon looking at some of the tools with how they work. Now let's start with this one, these tools over here. So when you right click on it, you see that we have rectangular mogul tool, elliptical mogul tool, and then single row mogul tool, and then the rest. Okay, now let me bring in an image into the web page, and let's see what will happen. Okay, so this is an image. So this particular tool is a cutting tool. Okay, all of these tools are cutting tool. They are cutting tool. We use them to cut things. Okay, we use them to cut. So before we can cut any portion, of this picture, we have to work on it. Okay, we have to make this picture soft If I say soft, it doesn't mean we are going to cook it or put enough salt on it. We are going to make it soft. We'll make it soft from the app. So all that we do is that come to the picture, bring your mouse pointer to the picture, right click on it, and see we have something called rasterize layer. So we choose rasterize layer like this. Alright, so when you choose that, then you now come back to the tools, and then let's select the first one, rectangular mogul tool, like this. Now let's make a selection. I want to cut just the leaf part, so I will bring my mouse pointer, double click, and then drag it. Okay, so drag it like this. So after you drag it like that, all you do is that right click on it like this, and then come here and say layer by cut, choose layer by cut, and then from there pick your move tool and then move what you have cut. You can move it, position it at any place of your choice. Guys, I'm sure you are following the lesson. Alright, so let's practice that again. Let's practice that again. Okay, so we said before we can work on this image, we have to right click on it, rasterize it. After rasterizing it, come to the tool and then pick it anywhere you want to cut. You just double click on it, drag it like this, and then select that portion, then right click on it and then select layer by cut like this. Then go to your move tool, take your move tool and drag it where what you have cut and position it at where you want it to be. So I want mine to be at this place for me. So guys, that is how we cut image. So let's go back and select the second one, ellipse mogul tool. So what you select this, and then wherever you want to cut, just double click like this and make the selection around here. The same, right click on it and choose layer by cut. Okay, first you have to select the image like this first, then let me choose layer by cut, and then from there let me keep my move tool and then let me pick this and place it here like this. Alright, then the next thing I'm going to do is come to your cutting tool again. Let's pick the next one, single row mogul tool, and pick this one. Now let me select this and then ensure that your image is selected like this for you. Then right click and layer by cut like this. Then go to your move tool and then okay, so that is where I have cut out. So this is what happens. So this is what I cut. So I'm going to position it here like this. Now let's go back and pick the next one, single column row tool. So let me come here and then drag it here like this. Okay, then right click and choose layer by cut. Then pick your move tool and select this. Okay, so guys, I'm sure you have seen the selections that is going on, how we use the cutting tools to cut. Okay, so guys, that is how we use the cutting tools in cutting. So let me delete all of these that we've done. Okay, so the next thing is we are coming to the next cutting tool, and that is the polygonal. So we have the lasso tool, we have the polygonal lasso tool, magnetic lasso tool. So let's see, we have the polygonal. Let's start with the lasso tool. This is the lasso tool. So let's see how it works. So let me make a selection here. And then I'll come back to join it to where I start from, and then from there bring your mouse cursor in and right click and choose layer by cut like this. Go to your move tool and select the portion you have just cut like this. So you can position it here like this. Okay, so I'm sure you are following the tutorial. Then the next thing is come back again, pick the next tool. This is the polygonal lasso tool. Let's pick the polygonal lasso tool, and then this one too, you can make a selection like this. Make a selection around it. Make a selection around where you want to cut off, and then join it back to where you start from, like this. Then right click on it, and then pick layer by cut. Then go back to your move tool and drag this also to this place, like this. Alright, now let me see the last tool over there is magnetic lasso tool. So let's pick the magnetic lasso tool and see. So this one, we are going to make a selection like this. Okay, so this is it. Then you come and join it at where you start from. Then right click on it and then select layer by cut, like this. Select layer by cut. Then you can move this one also to this one. So guys, we have cut the image into, we have split it into different sizes. So we have this one here, we have this one to here, and we have this one to here. So guys, let me know at the comment section if you have followed the tutorial and you understand everything perfectly. But if something is not clear to you, you can leave it at the comment section below for me to answer, or if necessary I will redo the video on it for you. Alright, now let me quickly delete this and let's do the next. Alright, so the next thing is, let's look at the next tool, and that is magic wand tool. This is it. So when you right click on it, we have the quick selection tool, and then we have the magic wand tool. Let's start with the quick selection tool and see. This is the quick selection tool. So that is how you select it. Okay, you can increase the size with the brackets, the two curly brackets on your keyboard. Okay, one is used to decrease and the other one is used to increase it. So you can increase the size like this. So let me increase the size to cover the entire page like this, the entire picture like this. So I have made a selection around this. Now the next thing I will do is that I'm going to right click on this and select layer by cut. Okay, and then it will take off that part for me. Now I am left with this. Okay, so when you watch it well, I have this layer at the background. Okay, and then I have this layer as well. So guys, that is it. Now let me go back to your magic wand tool. Let's pick the next tool, and that is magic wand tool. So when you pick this one, it enables you to make a selection around the image like this, and then hit on backspace key to delete. Okay, it enables it. Let me bring it back. Control plus Alt plus Z make you to bring them back. Okay, that is for multiple undo. So let me deselect this, Control plus D to deselect. So what happens is that the magic wand tool enables you to make a selection like this around the entire space where you want. Maybe you don't need the background, the plain whites around this food item, you don't need it. So what you do is make a selection with this and select around it, and then hit on the backspace key like this once, and it will go. Then Control plus D to deselect. Are we following? All right, so that is what happens. Okay, all right, so let me delete what happens. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is that I am going to take you through how to use the type tool. Okay, how we use the type tool. Now Now to use the type tool, we have two ways of selecting the type tool. Okay, so when you move your mouse pointer to this is the type tool. It's like T. Okay, so you hit on it once and then bring it onto the page like this, and then hit on the page also like this once. Okay, that is what happens. Now I can bring my mouse pointer to the top here. When you bring your mouse pointer to the top, you could see that this place, this is where we have the font name. We have the book Antique. I can change it from there. Okay, so we have a lot of fonts over here. So these are the fonts that we are having. So you can drag and be selecting the font that you want. Okay, so that is it. Okay, so you can select the font. Let me select a font like Allegria, and let's see. Then you can change the font type from here. So this is your font type. Okay, so we can change it from regular to italic to bold italic, black italic. Let's choose black and see. Then let's see, we can increase the size of the font. So put your mouse pointer on it like this and then drag it in like this, or you can decrease it. When you drag it to the left, you are decreasing. Okay, let me start again. When you drag it to the down, you are decreasing. Okay, let's drag and see. So you see that it has decreased. Now I want it to increase, so I'll drag it out like this, and the cursor has increased again. So it's telling you that your font size has increased again. Okay, now after this, the next thing is you start typing from your keyboard. So whatever I want to type, maybe you want to type like so because of my font size, so let me decrease the font size a little bit. Let me put it to 36. Okay, so I want to type the work. I want to type the work. Okay, so this font as it is over here, I can move it to anywhere that I want to. Okay, I can equally increase the size of this font again. So I can bring your mouse pointer. Let's commit this first. Come here. So we can bring, when you bring your mouse pointer and put it at the edge like this, it will turn to a double arrow. So it tells me that you can open this up. So let me open it. So you can just increase it like this, and then increase this place to like this. Okay, so that is how it works. Then I can position it. So when you look at the edge part of your work, you see that we have some properties over here. So bring your cursor onto the one that is what, the A, and that is the character. Open it like this. So in case yours is not there, don't worry, go to view and choose property. If your own is not there, don't worry. If your own is not there, don't worry, go to Windows and choose properties. Okay, so when you choose property, your own will come for you, then you choose it from there. All right, now this character, we have character, and then we have paragraphs. We have character, we have paragraphs. We can move this to anywhere that we want. Okay, just put your mouse on it and double click and drag it to wherever you want to position this. So my own, I want it to be here for me. So when you open this, you will see we have the font name, the font type, and then the font size. So we have a lot of things over here like this. Now I want to change the font size again. So what I'll do is that I'll bring my cursor to this and decrease it, move it to the left and decrease. Okay, so that is what happens. I want to increase it again. So what I'll do is I'll drag it to the right and then increase this. Okay, now the space between the west, I want to decrease it a little bit. So what I'll do is that I'll come to VA. This is what we are talking about, the VA, and then I'll drag this. So we have seen the space has closed. Okay, but I want it to open. So what I'll do is I'll open it to the right. I will say it has open. Okay, so that is how it works. Now the size, I want the work, I want the writing, I want the height to increase to this place for me. I want it to increase. So what I'll do is I'll come to this place, increase this. Okay, I'm sure you have seen what happens. So I've increased it. So you can increase it, drag it to the right, and you are increasing it. Okay, but when you drag it to the left, you are decreasing the font or the writing height like this. All right, now the next thing we are going to do is that I want to, the rest of them you can play around them and see what will happen to your work. Okay, some will not, some they will not show over here, but I will teach you how we use all of them. Okay, do not worry, we are going to do all of them. Now let's see the color. We have a color over here, so we can change the color of the text from here. So yours is just to double click in the box here, and this color box will open for you. So you can change your color, to anything that you want from here. Okay, then you hit on OK, and then it will be done for you. All right, so now my writing is straight for me, but I want it to slant, like it want to fall. So all I will do is that I will come to here and click on this, and it will move like that for me. Okay, but my writing is in capital. Okay, so I want to put it in capital. So it is in capital already, so that is it. Now let's assume that my writing is in capital and I want to reduce it from capital to small letter. All that I will do is that I will come here and pick this, select this, and we take this one off, this one to off. So when you pick it, so you can play around them, and then you will see all of them, what they does. Okay, what they does, all of them have the work they do. Okay, so you can play around them, and then you will see their uses. Now we are going to look at the use of the rest of the boxes over here. Okay, now let me delete this and let me pick my type tool, hit on T on your keyboard, T for talk, hit on it, and your type tool like this will be selected, and then come to your workspace, click on your workspace like this, and it will come for you. So I will type there it, then I'll hit on enter on my keyboard, then I'll bring it down like this, hit fufu like this, then I'll hit on the commit button here. Now when you watch this, you see that the spacing between them, like it and then the fufu, is too close, so I want to open them up. Okay, so what I'll do is that I'll come to this place like this, I'll come to this place and put my mouse pointer on this, and then when you drag it to the left, you are closing them again. Let's drag it to the left. Have you seen what is happening? When you drag it to the left, you are closing them. Now I want the fufu to come down, so I'll drag it to the right again, and then I'll drag it and it will open for me. So that is how it works. Okay, that is how that is how this character work. So when you drag it to the left, you are closing it, but when you drag it to the right, you are opening it like this. All right, that is it for the typing. Now we have other things that we do. Now let's go to your type tool again. Now when you look on top over here, we have, now let me delete this. Let's pick our type tool, type your name. In this case, my name is Success. Okay, so let me bring this here like this. So let me pick my type tool. So when you pick your type tool, you see that we have something like T, create a warped text. Okay, so this is what is here. So what happens is that when you pick this, click on OK. So when you pick this, select your type. Let's cancel this for the meantime. Select your type tool, highlight all of this, and then select this. When you select this, come to the, okay, so you can decide to, what happens is that you can decide to highlight this, the text, or you can decide not to. So let me come here and then change the style from none to any of this. So let's start with the arc. So this is my arc. So when you pick arc, this is how your writing will turn for you. Okay, this is how it will turn for you. And then the arc, it can be, this is the horizontal type and this is the vertical one, so you can change it. So when you change it to vertical, this is how it will looks like. Okay, then we can change how we want it to bend. Okay, how we want it to bend, just be dragging this how you want it. You can drag it to how you want it. Okay, if you drag it like this, it will be dragging for you. Then the horizontal distortion, you can be positioning them. Okay, you can position them as well to your favorite. So any of this, so you have to play around it well, and then you will get whatever you want. Okay, I'm sure you are following the tutorial. Kindly subscribe to the channel if you are new, and don't forget to comment to the page as well. Alright, so that is how the arc work. Now let's go to the next one, and that is the arc lower. So let's choose arc lower and see what will happen. It is arc lower, the same thing. You can change it from vertical to horizontal like this, and then you can play around this. You can play around it. You can play around it anyhow you want it. You can play around it. Okay, like this. Now let's go here and see arc upper. So that is it. You can play around them. Let's choose the next one, the arc. So you can choose it depending upon what you are doing and how you want your text to appear for you. That will show, or that will determine what to choose for that project. Okay, so you can be playing around them and then you will get your own. So this is flag, so you can play around it. You can play around it well, and you will see the outcome well. All right, okay, so it's there like that, so you can play around them. All right, I'm sure you followed this tutorial very well. All right, if you have followed it, kindly subscribe to the channel and also leave your comments in the comment section, like the videos, and also share my links to other platform of yours. All right, now let's see how we add a paragraph, how we give a paragraph to our work. Now let me delete this. Okay, now let me pick my type tool, and then let me reduce the font size like this, and then let me type them. Kofi is going to school. Kofi is going to school. And he meet Amma on the road. Okay, now let me quickly bring this to the down like this. Okay, so okay, then let me bring this one also to the down, and then bring it here like this. Okay, so we learned about how to close the gap. Okay, how to close this gap. So we come here and close the gap. Come here and drag it to the left to close the gap. Left and close the gap. Okay. Okay, so you close the gap like that. So what you do over here, you want to give a paragraph to this, so you can open your paragraph like this. Now change the paragraph to this and then move this over here, so you could see the difference now let's see what will happen. Or you choose the center one, and then when you choose this is what will happen. So your writing, this whole place will be in alignment, and then this place will be slanted. So that is what will happen, because this is not a good paragraph. That is why it's not showing well. So you can take your time and then type a nice paragraph and apply the paragraphs that we have over here. You can also play around the numbers. You can input a figure over here, you can input a number over here. So let's assume I input here 5. Let's see what will happen. So when I input 5, so there will be some effect happening over here. So that is it over there for us. Now let's see. So in case we want to have justify, we want to justify the whole of this writing. Okay, so let me delete this, and then let's go to my desktop and see something. So let me open this. Okay, I apologize for the delay. Okay, really sorry for the delay. Okay, so let's wait for this to open up. All right, now let's look at this. Let's look at this. So let's copy this. Let's copy this writing over here. We want to justify the writing, so let's copy this, copy that, then come to Photoshop like this. You can copy and paste in Photoshop as well. Okay, so let's select our type tool. When you select a type tool, draw a shape like this. Okay, and then paste that over there. Right click on it and paste that here like this. All right, then from there put your character and reduce the size of the writing. Reduce the size. Okay, so after you reduce the size, close the gap between the text. Close the gap. Let me close the gap like this. Okay, so what will happen is that I want to justify this, so I'll go to my paragraph like this and then choose. You can see that now these ones are open, so I'll choose this. If you choose this is what will happen, and then let me justify this now to the last sentence, and then let's see what will happen. This is what will happen when you choose that justify. This is what will happen when you choose that one too. And let's choose this one and see what will happen. So you can see that this is what is happening. So this is the paragraph we are talking about. Okay, so if you want to use all the paragraphs. If you want to use them, you have to make sure you go through the necessary procedure before using them. Alright, so guys, that is how we use the type tool, and that is how we use the character box as well as the paragraphing as well. So guys, don't forget to leave your comment at the comment section below if you don't understand something in this tutorial. Alright, now we are going to look at the last thing before we pause this tutorial for the day. Then let's assume, go to file, let's place a picture there. So you place the picture like this. Okay, so let me reduce the size, come to the edge like this and reduce the size and bring this here. So I want to clean some portion of this off. So what I will do is that I will go and then rasterize this, right click and rasterize the layer, and then go and pick my eraser tool. This is an eraser tool. Pick that tool and then open this with the curly brackets on your keyboard. Open it up like this, and then come to this place like this, and then the hardness, reduce the hardness to 0, and then increase the size to 300, and choose the soft brush like this. Then clean this portion off. You can blend these options off. Okay, so maybe I want something like this. Alright, so guys, that is how we use the brush, the eraser tool as well. Okay, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. But if you are old to the channel, thanks for being on the channel, and then see you in my next tutorial. Bye bye.